welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name's Adil, and today's video is a very proud moment. It is a final episode on the Jaguar F-Type behind the sound series of a really lovely custom sound system that we've done on this absolutely gorgeous car. This customer actually came into us from our Cars and Coffee event, which we've actually got on tomorrow, and we do this on the first Saturday of each month. Check out our Facebook page for all of the details about Cars and Coffee. It's a really good fun event that we're actually hosting tomorrow, and we're all getting set up for. But today's video is all about this car and the system that we've got inside it. I'm going to walk you around the whole install in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. But before we get on to today's video, make sure you guys at home have subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we've got a massive competition live on our channel at the moment. We're giving away a brand new PlayStation 5 as well as an Audison Prima amplifier. All the details are in the description below. However, let's get on with today's video. Before we get too involved in the final system that we've done, make sure you guys at home have actually checked out all of the previous episodes, because it will give you a far better understanding about what is actually involved in doing a system like this, all the way from the very beginning when the car came in to where we are now. But the finished product, obviously this is a big part of doing a system, how it sounds, but also the actual cosmetic look and changes that we've made to the car. Obviously, this customer didn't want to settle with the Meridian sound system, so this car came in with the Meridian upgraded system from factory. We've gotten rid of that, and there's a video called Sound Off, which actually compares Meridian system over to what we've actually put into the car. However, the big change that we've done in terms of a visual thing is added in this speaker pod here. This is no easy task. This is the Audison Thesis tweeter. You would have seen this in plenty of installs. We've got another Lamborghini Aventador in at the moment, which is having this same set of tweeters, but you would have seen it in Wilfred Zaha's car, Shmoo 150s, the list goes on. I don't know how many of these speakers we've actually done now in vehicles. It's literally endless. In terms of this, we've done something really nice with it. Built a speaker pod here that sits into a stock location, plus is actually fully reversible as well, which is really nice. And that's down to how the guys have actually built and designed this system. So it mounts to a similar way to how the factory one actually mounted, because that used to have a little pod here, part of the Meridian system. We've basically extended that out, and this is all custom built. So the factory pod is retained. This can come out when the customer sells the car. The factory Meridian system can go back in, and nobody knows we've been there at all. And you guys and our client will actually be able to retain the actual product itself. This is the Audison Thesis tweeter, an incredible tweeter. This is now on access to the driver, as well as the fact we've actually customized this to the interior of the vehicle. Looks absolutely phenomenal, blends into the vehicle really nicely. Obviously there's red inside this door, and the stitching, the leather work, that now blends in so seamlessly. And then we've got this satin black finish as well, which blends in just seamlessly into the vehicle. Having those tweeters on axis really makes for a really beautiful soundstage. So inside this door, we've done a couple of things. Firstly is soundproofing, building a better environment for the new system to work in, and replacing all of those Meridian components, getting rid of them and upgrading them with a new 6.5-inch woofer in the door. This system came into us with what's called a 3-way front end, a tweeter, a mid-range and a mid-bass in the door. What we've done is deleted the mid-range. You can see obviously the grille is still as it is, but all we've done is deleted that and added in a 6.5-inch woofer. That's down to the amplification setup, which we'll move on to a little bit later. What's actually behind here? This is something called an Audison Thesis 6.5-inch woofer, an incredible sounding set. So you've got full Audison Thesis front end, the new tweeter, and the 6.5-inch driver, manufactured by Audison Thesis, and it's a fantastic range, producing a lot more output in terms of obviously not only volume, mid-bass performance, clarity in terms of how sound is actually delivered into a vehicle. And honestly, the soundstage in the vehicle is honestly absolutely incredible. But we've also got to talk about bass, which you added in a really nice way, and then we'll move over to amplification. So the Meridian system really did lack basically every element of sound: high frequencies, mid-bass, and also bass, which was a big thing the customer wanted to change. Obviously, in a very small cabin, that we thought was near on impossible, but we've changed our minds on that. What we've done is added in 2 subs into this cabin without losing any foot room at all. What we've actually done is added in these subs. These are an 8-inch sub, Hertzmühle Legend sub. If you basically wanted, we do two different designs on this F-Type now. We do the 8-inch sub, which gives a lot more mid-bass, a lot more bass into the vehicle. This is built into a custom box like this. However, if you wanted to take up a little bit less room here, we can do with the Audison Prima 8-inch sub that has a slightly smaller box. What we've actually got here is fully fabricated. This is built out of MDF, fiberglass, and actually built in and around the seat. You also see a little lip here, which is really, really important. Yes, cosmetically, it might not look inch perfect and rounded. However, it serves a purpose. What this edge does is sits into the bottom of the seat. It's got a little lip here, and it sits in and it stops the seat going back too far and damaging the back of the seat. A very, very important part of the system. What we've also done is retain the actual cooling system for all of the factory electronic components that sit behind here via the factory vents and relocated them forward into the custom sub box. But honestly, a lot more bass into the vehicle, sounds really, really nice, and it's nice and punchy now. You've not only got those 6.5-inch woofers down in the door, but these Hertzmühle Legend subs really do kick quite hard. So these sub boxes are in a very, very efficient box that sit really nicely, and to make the space possible, we've actually gone further back behind the factory grills, as well as dropped it down a little bit lower as well. These are all carpeted, they look really nice, and if you were kind of looking at the car from this perspective, you wouldn't really know that they weren't stock. They blend in really, really nicely, but obviously with that massive increase in bass, exactly what our client was after, it's going to make a massive, massive difference to his driving experience when he's driving along the road. Before we crack on and talk about amplification, I want to talk to you about a product that sits just before amplification on all Land Rover and Jaguar products when we do the systems. On this Jaguar F-Type, it came in with the Meridian system. So what's the problem with that? Firstly, not only the components themselves aren't to a very high quality, but Jaguar Range Rover know that. So what do? Inside software built into the head unit, something you guys at home can never, ever, ever change. It's not a setting you guys can get rid of. Basically what happens is as you turn up your volume, what happens is your bass basically rolls off, because they know that if you turn up that volume too loud, the bass will basically damage the components that you've got in the door, and it will basically damage the speakers, and they'll end up having lots of warranty jobs. So they built something into the head unit which you cannot change, except we can. Something called the LC7i, it's an audio control product, has something called AccuBass. It allows us to adjust that, basically that software, and we can see where the curve is rolling off in terms of that bass frequencies going to the speakers, and we can just recreate that, and it's really, really cool. And that's why that product sits ahead of the amplification. That also sums all the signals and channels from the factory system over and then goes into the actual new amplification setup, which is the two Audison Forza amplifiers. Our client was after having something very discreet in terms of this build and not taking up too much room here. It's exactly what we've done. In terms of this amplification, is two products. Firstly is the Audison Prima Forza amplifier, an 8-channel amplifier, as well as an Audison Prima Forza 1D, a slave 1-channel amplifier which runs the two subs. The 8-channel Forza amplifier runs what's called a fully active system, each channel running directly to individual components. So channels 1 and 2 are actually bridged. So we're bridging all the channels on that amplifier, and we're running it as a 4-channel. Channel 1 runs to the front left tweeter. Channel 2 runs to the Thesis tweeter on the driver side. Channel 3 runs to the actual 6.5-inch driver in the left door. Channel 4 runs to the actual driver side woofer in the door. So we're running an 8-channel amplifier as a 4-channel, what's called bridging channels, bringing a lot more power to the system. From memory, it runs around about 260 watts RMS per channel directly to those individual components when bridging a Forza. Really, really nice way of doing it. Plus, it's something called a Class D amplifier. There's lots of different levels in terms of classes, and potentially later on, we might make a video directly just on Class A, B, C, D amplification, the advantages of going for something like Class A over something Class D, but there's lots of advantages to Class D amplification, exactly like this. Hidden away, outside, out of mind, completely hidden away out of here. It's actually tucked in on a custom board that we built, sits right underneath here. But obviously to access it, to tune the system, this is actually fully removable. This can come out, come forward, we can adjust anything and put it back in. But overall, you've got a lot more power in the system, you've got a lot more volume, you've got a lot more clarity, Plus, we're allowed to EQ the system and tune the system, which makes a massive difference when doing a system like this. Having the ability to obviously customize the sound to exactly what our client was after. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed not only this video, but the whole series that we've done on the Jaguar F-Type. It's been an incredible joy and privilege to be working on such a lovely car and installing such absolutely amazing products. Our team again have absolutely smashed it out of the park. Couldn't be prouder of them. So thank you so much again for watching. Make sure you guys at home like this video, share it with friends and family, as well as smash that subscribe button below. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next project. See you then.